alongside Jim Jackson, I'm Kevin Kugler. For Purdue, they're coming off a conference weekend. The Big Ten's already had one weekend of conference play. Any concern going back to non-conference?
It's a little concern when you talk to Matt Painter. It's all about the focus due to the competition against Tennessee and Western Kentucky. The team didn't come out focused. Ultimately, you lose the game. This Valpo team is going to give you some problems, so let's check Purdue out on the defensive end early.
Yeah, maybe that 8-0 record for Valparaiso gives you a little reason to focus in as Valpo in a transition year off to a great start.
Well, in a transition year, new conference, think about it, 8 out of the 12 players are underclassmen, but they're deep. 12 players play at least 10 minutes a game, and you have 2 7-footers inside that can man up the paint.
All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups. And for this Valparaiso team, as I mentioned, a transition year, but Tavon Walker averaging over 17 points a game, leading the way in the backcourt.
And Bakari Evelyn has to knock down shots. I mean, he has to be aggressive early on. He's proven that he can score.
And for Purdue, Isaac Haas coming off one of the best weekends in his career, Big Ten Player of the Week in the first weekend of conference play.
And his offense will open up if Carson Edwards can knock down jump shots, gives Haas, the big shadow, some more room to operate.
Matt Painter looking on his team at 8-2 on the year. A veteran officiating crew on hand for this one tonight, leading the way Terry Weimer. And we are ready to get this one started at Mackey Arena. Soroya will jump it up against Isaac Haas. And one thing to note about this Valparaiso team, while they have heavy scorers in the backcourt, they've got size up front that can actually match Purdue with 2 7-footers.
And why that's important is that you don't have to double team as much. See Matthias right there with the jump shot. Now you're able to check out and rebound and have better consistency and more numbers with inside the defensive paint.
8-0 record for Valparaiso, 8-2 for Purdue, and there's Tavon Walker right out of the gates, the senior with his first 2.
Always love to have veteran in your backcourt because they understand the challenge, but also Tavon understands how important it is that his Crusaders get off to a great start.
Good position by Isaac Haas, and he draws the foul on Soroya. Second-year head man of Valparaiso as the Crusaders go to work. 8-0 record.
Talking to Matt before, we talked about expectations. See a nice out-of-bounds play that time by Purdue. Always heavy expectations, even though you're going to the Missouri Valley Conference. This program is used to winning, Kevin. They don't want anything less than a championship, or at least competing for one within the conference.
Yeah, this has a lot of tradition, this program. Of course, so many years with the Drews in charge. Matlock trying to keep that tradition going as this one is a turnover back to Purdue.
There we
go. There's Matt Loddick.
There we go.
There he is. Spent 8 years playing in Japan as part of a 10-year professional career overseas. He played at Stanford for Mike Montgomery, and we were talking with him today, and I asked him if he was fluent in Japanese. He said something that was in Japanese, so I'm going to assume the answer was yes.
Yeah, well, he said once he got off the mainland, though, it was a little bit more challenging than he expected. Heck of a shooter, too, at Stanford.
Purdue off to a slow start offensively. Here's Bakari Evelyn, former Nebraska Cornhusker, transferred to Valparaiso, and a turnover back to Purdue. And the head coach of the Boilermakers, Matt Painter. I'm not sure there's a more unassuming coach in college basketball. I mean, he is just...
Well, until you talk to him, because he asked me, he said, Jimmy, how many times did you win here at Mac? Well, that's what he said.
I wasn't going to bring that up early.
Well,
I was going to wait.
I am, sorry.
And you said, oh, we won twice here.
Then he said no.
Yes, he did.
He corrected me quickly.
And had all the statistics and everything?
Everything.
Off the miss from Vincent Edwards. And Purdue shut out early, 0 for 4 from the floor.
Well, what you'll see, too, with Isaac Haas inside, the 4-man for the Crusaders, he's like a roamer. When Haas touches the basketball, they're going to double team to get it out of his hands right on the catch.
Evelyn with the turnover. Valpo not able to take advantage of the cold start for Purdue. Already 3 turnovers for Valparaiso.
But give Purdue the Boilermakers credit. I said that, we would be able to tell if Purdue was ready to play based on their defense. They're beating their men to their spot. They've been a little bit more physical, which as a result, we created some turnovers.
Here's Matthias, open 3, halfway down, and that pops back up. This year, that's gone down for Matthias almost every time. He's at 54% from 3.
So he went down, right?
Yeah.
I think you'll take that.
I mean, absolutely. Numbers for Purdue. Edwards, the dish to Edwards, and Carson to Vincent gets Purdue on the board.
And Purdue is sneaky in their transition. They don't strike you as a team that wants to get out and run, but they will. So it's opportunistic, and they feed off their defense when they can complete the play with the rebound, and then they have the guards that can get out and, more importantly, make sound decisions in transition.
One of those weird statistical anomalies for Purdue is that they've had no fast break points in 2 of the last 5 games, including their win Sunday against Northwestern.
It's weird, but you can have your secondary transition. So it doesn't always necessarily have to be a quick, fast break, but you can get it up the court quick and then attack, and maybe it's that second, third pass where you can get an easy basket.
Isaac Haas, the handoff to Matthias. Poked away by Soroya. There's Haas inside. Good position. Big man left that one a little tall, and Evil in the rebound. 1 for 7 to start for Purdue from the floor. Bakari Evelyn. Here's Parker Hazen with the open 3. He doesn't shoot or score a lot. Got an open look, couldn't cash that one in, and P.J. Thompson up the floor. Thompson from the foul line.
And see, that's what I'm talking about, the secondary break. You rebound the basketball. Now you have a quick pick and roll with Thompson and Haas in the middle of the court. When you have shooters on the perimeter, they spread you out. It's hard to really guard that, and smart play that time by Thompson.
Hazen to work against Edwards. Joe Burton, transfer from Oklahoma State, working his way inside. That's a guy that Matt Lonick wants to get going.
He has to, because he can score the basketball. He's proven that he can put the ball in the basket, and in particular against his Purdue team, he has to be aggressive and force the defense to guard him.
Double dribble, and Purdue turns it over, and a timeout on the floor. Ragged start for both teams early on, a 4-4 ball game. Kevin Kugler alongside Jim Jackson. This is what you were talking about a moment ago with that secondary break that Purdue wants to get involved in and get their offense going with.
Well, off a missed shot, one of Purdue's 7 rebounds, and watch the outlet right here to P.J. Thompson, and we're going to freeze it real quick so you'll see Haas come in and set the pick. Now when you have shooters open, Jay Soroya is in a tough position. Do I guard the ball? Do I get back? Easy pull-up in transition, or your secondary break for P.J. Thompson.
4-4 ball game early on. Neither team shooting the ball particularly well. 2 for 8 for Purdue, 2 for 5 for Valpo. Max Joseph off the bench. Derek Smits, son of Rick Smits, on the floor for Valparaiso.
Yeah, I caught a few elbows from Rick back in the day when he was with the Pacers.
7 to shoot. Burton. The step through with a left hand, and Burton to the rim, and that's what Matt Lonick was talking about. He'd like to see more of from Joe Burton.
Well, and also the fact that he caught, made a quick decision, put it on the deck and attacked, and was able to finish with his left hand.
Whistle away from the ball and a foul going against Valpo.
But it's always good when you play against an excellent defensive team like Purdue is to catch the ball on the move. When the defense is shifting, the transition happens. That's when the gaps open up, and now you put Haas that time in the position. What do I do? And that time he really didn't commit, so Bird able to get to the basket.
Malik McMillan with his first, but a turnover for Purdue. And they cough it up. Second one for the Boilermakers, and back to Valparaiso.
Well, and here is the issue with this Purdue team. And this is not taking anything from the Crusaders, but the competition when you play against an Arizona, you play against a Louisville, you come out excited, you come out pumped, you're ready to go. Now you're playing against the Crusaders at Valparaiso, now your attention to detail is not there. You're turning the basketball over, and that's a concern for Matt Painter.
Yeah, we talked about it right at the top of the broadcast, coming off of a really impressive run to come back home. Have to get your enthusiasm going. Maybe Carson Edwards can provide a spark.
And I love that fact that Carson that time able to get to basket as a shooter. If you struggle with your shot, you need to see the ball go in. And sometimes either it's free throws or, in that case, getting the ball all the way to the basket.
Rumor has it Jim Jackson never struggled with his shot, but
no, I never let it affect me. I struggled a few times, trust me.
Burton traveled before that 3, and the turnover, number 5 for Valparaiso. So Purdue moved into the rankings on the back of this 4-game win streak. Arizona, Louisville, Maryland, and Northwestern. Those Maryland and Northwestern games, hard-fought battles. Maryland on the road, Northwestern here at Mackey.
That's when Purdue focused in early on. Against Tennessee, they got down early and could never close the gap.
Edwards' 3 won't rattle home. The rebound for Max Joseph. Ryan Klein on the floor for Purdue. Klein was a huge spark in the win over Northwestern. Had a season-high 13 as Haas gets the rejection. And now Purdue on the run. Edwards. Oh, nice lead for Carson Edwards. He'll go to the line for one more.
But when your guards for the Crusaders get down below the free throw line, now you put yourself in a situation in transition defense, Brian, where you're not balanced. And that time, Vincent Edwards not stopped, but at the last minute able to drop it off. And I think that's huge because he understands also that Carson has been struggling shooting. So instead of taking the shot, let me pass to my teammate, get him another basket, and make him feel good.
This is that free throw. Harms trying to keep it in play. As the freshman Matt Harms on the floor for the first time.
So, you know, you get 7-footers, you got them confused a little bit. Now, I will say this, Haas reminds me a lot of Steve Sheffield, who set a pick on me my freshman year. I'm still upset about it. It was legal, but it was like running into a brick wall. So every time I see Haas, I think about Sheffield.
Haas has been known to set a few of those.
Yeah. By accident, too. He's just there, a big shadow.
Oh, nice move by Smits going to work against Matt Harms. Not too many people have been able to do that to Harms in the early going.
Well, you know what he did? He was able to lower his shoulder, create some space, and now he was able to get his shot up.
Harms may have hurt himself or gotten hurt on that. He just got crunched twice.
He got crunched.
He was holding his hand to his wrist, and he got barreled into by Marcus Golder.
Yeah, I think the coaching staff of the Crusaders, they'd be a little physical with Harms if you can.
Tend to shoot for Smits. That's taken away by Edwards. There's a foul on McMillan. That'll be his second. So Matt Harms still trying to shake out that hand. And this is where we think he got hurt. Watch him as he goes up here. Yep.
See, that right thumb is on the inside of the jersey that got kind of pulled. And a lot of times, Kevin, just the awkward position and the quickness and the thrust of it can jam up the thumb. And that seems to what happened on that play.
And as he was then shaking it out, he got barreled into by Golder on the other end. That couldn't have helped. And an interception by Walker. Third Purdue turnover. Walker end-to-end. Harms there to swat it away. Klein working against John Kaiser. Just off the bench. Matthias on the bounce to Harms. Harms inside and a foul on Smits.
You know, what's tough, too, with Harms is that it's his right hand. That's his shooting hand, and especially the thumb. Because now when you're talking about getting to your suit and pocket and laying the ball right off of your palm, not on your palm, but on your fingertips, the thumb is so important in regards to that, but he's left-handed. So he's lucky from that perspective that it's not on his shooting hand.
Still got guided a little bit with that right hand, and that thumb has been bothering him. We've watched him up and down the floor the last 3 trips, and he's been shaking it almost nonstop. 33 blocks this year. NCAA's freshman shot block leader, one of the top 3 regardless of class in college basketball.
It's always good to have someone that can make up for sometimes your mistakes defensively, that can alter shots inside. Even if he doesn't block it, you know he's on the background just waiting for you. Or in the background.
He was 8 of 18 on the year at the line before the thumb injury. Now he injures his thumb, hits 2 for 2. So it's like good guiding thumb.
But he has a nice stroke for a 7-footer.
5 to shoot, good defense so far. And rejected again by Harms. Block number 34, and Harms fired up. Started playing ball at the age of 11, did Matt Harms. From Amsterdam, but he spent a year in Spain to improve his game. Edwards with the 3, won't go. Harms battling for the rebound, saved by Valpo, and Walker able to keep it in play.
And it's funny talking to Matt Painter about Harms. They went to see a teammate of his, to recruit a teammate, and kind of caught wind on what was going on with the skinny but agile and skilled big man, and that's how it all kind of came about.
He came in mid-year last year when they found out his clock was essentially starting. So he came in at mid-year to get it going and added 25. He's actually put 25 pounds on since he got here. Looks like he could put a few more on. Klein, deep 3. That's what he did against Northwestern. 13 points, 3 for 4 from behind the arc.
I know his father, Mike, because Mike played at Ohio State from 76 to 79. And right before the game, he came over. I said, well, how's Ryan doing? He said, he's in his own head about the shot. I said, but it doesn't take long for a shooter. You knock down a couple shots. Now your rhythm is back. And Klein has gotten off to a great start.
Yeah, you might look at that Northwestern game as the thing that sparked him.
Right.
The foul on the inside will give Valpo a chance at the line, but Ryan Klein didn't need the line, didn't even need the three-point arc. 3 feet behind it, able to drain it.
Saturday on FS1. First, Marcus Howard and Marquette battle Ethan Happ in Wisconsin. Then, George King powers the Buffaloes into Big East country to face off with Trayvon Blewett and Xavier. Saturday, Marquette, Wisconsin at 11:30 Eastern. Colorado, Xavier at 5 Eastern.
All right, we'll keep him out.
Well, 6 turnovers so far.
Yeah, but live ball turnovers are the ones that hurt you. Now you can get out and run, and then you know the scouting report says that Dakota Mathias can shoot it on the catch and shoot. Ryan Klein can shoot it. Vincent Edwards can shoot it. Don't turn the basketball over. Now it doesn't put your transition defense in a precarious situation, but now you can match up. But it's all about communication as well, bro.
Max Joseph missing both free throws. Holds the lead at 5 for Purdue. Eastern out to Edwards. Tough turnover for Purdue.
Yeah, that's a tough pass to catch. The Harm should be able to reach down at his ankles. That one, Carson Edwards, they just throw it up to the rim, let him go get it.
Walker on the penetration is fouled as he dishes off. Purdue foul number 2 as a team. Markel Eastern picks up his first personal foul. Valpo is deep. Matt Loddick's going to run 12 players out there.
And they're productive too. I mean, they're not just out there for bodies. You know, they give you something on offense, defensive end, which is important.
Here's Evelyn. 7 to shoot. Entry pass, Soroya. Soroya against Harms, goes to the left hand. Offensive board, taken back up, can't put it down, Joe Burton, and the ball finally plucked away by Matt Harms.
Excellent opportunity right there for the Crusaders. Off of offensive rebound to convert inside, but again, Harms just being there.
Carson Edwards providing the free throw line jumper. He's got 6.
I like how he probed that time. He didn't pick up his dribble, maintained it, but he got to the spot at the free throw line where he felt most comfortable, Kevin.
Purdue slowly stretching this advantage to 7 and clamping down defensively on Valpo as Burton tries to go in on Harms, drove it right at the big man.
Well, second time. Now, you know with the 7-footer, he's going to have the length on you. But if you're able to get into his chest, push him back a little bit, now his height is not as advantageous as it normally would be if he was going straight up.
Klein splits 2 defenders. Layup won't go. Bradford the rebound for Valpo. 6 points for Burton. That's encouraging for Valparaiso as Evelyn tries the quick 3 and not going to go. Mathias collides with Edwards. It stays with the Crusaders. Joe Burton's a guy that if they can get him going, certainly headed into the Valley at the end of the month, that'll be a big plus.
Well, again, you catch the ball on the move and watch the bump right there. See, that sent Harms back and not up. And now that allows you to create some space and now use your right hand, your dominant hand, to kiss it softly off the glass for 2.
Isaac Haas back in. Harms over on the bench. They're looking still at that thumb. They got caught in the jersey a few moments ago. John Kaiser. Now Micah Bradford, 19 to shoot. I'd back up if I ran into Haas too.
Yeah.
Burton's 3, not going to go. Haas tips the rebound to Edwards. Edwards around the Haas screen. Kaiser the board. Long lob ahead. Mathias got a hand on it. Soroya inside, gets the roll. Valpo back within 3.
And I love the fact that Soroya was able to sprint right down the middle of the court. And now the pass from over the top from Bradford leads to an easy basket, but how about the catch and finish inside?
Matthias can't connect. Valpo outscoring Purdue in the paint and out-rebounding Purdue right now.
Well, in their last game out, too, they dominated the Crusaders in the paint, but now you have another live ball turnover, 2-on-1.
Matthias, the give to Edwards. Edwards able to finish. It was Vincent Edwards who got a hand on it to start it going the other way.
Again, coaches can deal with turnovers. Sometimes when you're aggressive, things happen. But when they're live ball, again, the 2-on-1, and coaches work on that 2-on-1 fast break scenario every day. Purdue ran it to perfection on that last play.
Difficult to know when to pass and when to take. How do you read that?
Well, no, you read the defender. They're not going to commit. You continue to probe and push.
Soroya, but Haas is there on the recovery.
Well, Soroya should have dunked the basketball. Then you don't get that block. I think he was more surprised that he got open.
Whistle away from the ball. That's a foul on Micah Bradford. And a timeout on the floor. Purdue getting out and running. Carson Edwards, 8 first-half points to pace the Boilers to the lead.
Playing such a soft schedule, really still don't have a sense and feel of who and what Patrick Ewing's team is. But unfortunately, we probably won't get that until conference play starts. But how about this Valpo team starting out, new conference, same attitude, young team, but continuing the trend of being successful early.
Last year, this was a team dominated by Alec Peters, who was a second-round pick of the Suns. Matt Loddick said, look, we don't have that superstar at the top, but we're a lot deeper this year, and that'll pay dividends come conference play as Isaac Haas gets it going with the hook.
Well, he also said he had to restructure, readjust his offense because of what Alec Peters was able to do in his offense. You don't have that dynamic player, so now you had to make some changes, which his team, by going 8-0, evidently caught on quickly too.
Walker's try, not going to go. Matthias there for the board. Purdue looking to push. Carson Edwards leaving for Matthias.
And that's better transition defense that time by the Crusaders. But
P.J. Thompson spoils good defense. Timeout taken by Valparaiso. 5 for Thompson. Isaac Haas getting this mini run started a moment ago, stretching the lead to 10.
Well, in the days of, you must have a three-point shooter, maybe the center is obsolete. Let me tell you something, Kevin. It feels good to have somebody you can dump it down to, because when you have to honor the inside play, your jump shots open up. Because Haas was down there, now you pay a little bit more attention to him. Now you feed in just a little bit. Now you're able to, if you keep the court spread, you're able to get those shots. So I think teams that have the combination of a post player, not to be dominant, but you have to be serviceable enough to score, are the teams that are balanced enough to not only win their conferences, but compete in the NCAA tournament.
And Isaac Haas has been certainly more than serviceable as this season has begun. Came in averaging almost 16 points per game. And the thing about Haas that's been impressive is not only can he shoot from the floor, he can shoot at the free throw line too, so he can stay in the game in big moments. He was 10 of 14 against Northwestern at the line. Three to shoot for Joseph. Joseph driving inside, and as the shot clock goes off, Joseph gets the shot to fall.
At that time, Smits was able to push Haas back a little bit further on the baseline under the rim. That allowed the shot to be off, but if not, Haas would have been there to kind of take that away.
5.5 remaining in this first half. Edwards, the step through gets to the rim, and Vincent Edwards with those long arms able to put it in.
But that time, Smits had a choice, and he was put in a dilemma. Do I leave the body of Isaac Haas, or do I go challenge the shot? And again, that's having a post player inside that can score. So Edwards' bench was able to capitalize off of it.
Edwards has been pretty prolific scorer throughout his basketball career as Joseph misses wildly on the three. Edwards with the rebound. Edwards over 1,000 points in his high school days. In fact, ended his high school career at Middletown. Second leading scorer in Middletown history. The first, Jerry Lucas. Pretty good company to be in.
And I know his father, Vince's father, really well played at Wright State. And I always thought Vince still had more in him to give. He's ultra talented.
And there's that cylinder violation. You've got to give the guy a little bit of room here. There's the motion made almost like a cylinder. You imagine it almost like a force field. You can't get that close to the guy.
Well, give our audience at home what you mean by the cylinder.
Well, watch the official who will run in right at the bottom of your screen. See right there? the cylinder essentially is the space around the player with the ball. And I had it imagined such as a force field because I'm a bit of a sci-fi geek. But you put that force field around him and he can't break through the force field.
I'll tell you what, how big Isaac Haas is, that's a big cylinder. And a lot of space that you got to play with because I call him the big shadow. But, you know, one of the rules benefiting offensive players, you know what I mean, in that regards.
There was Haas again going to the line to our point a moment ago, and he can produce there. He's got 4 points. Smits working against Haas, and Haas holding his ground, and Smits walk.
Well, how about the anticipation that time by Isaac Haas to slide his feet? And to go back to your point, why that's important free throw-wise, late in the game situation, say he grabs a defensive rebound, gets fouled, offensive rebound, he's able to go to the line, and you have confidence that he can get up there and complete, you know, 1 or 2 free throws.
I know you played with some nice pass by Haas to Vincent Edwards for the finish. So we've seen Haas defend, hit free throws, and now the pass out of the post to a cutter. Not a bad little stretch for the Big Ten Player of the Week.
And we always talk about players improving the game, and we talk about numbers, rebounding, you know, and scoring. But how about Haas recognizing defensively? See defense again right here inside and making plays out of a double team or off the post.
Eastern with the strip. Matthias, he wanted to pull the trigger on that one. Purdue's hit their last 5 from the floor. Bullet pass by Edwards, and No-Gel Eastern just couldn't get the roll.
What? No-Gel, glad it didn't hit him in the face. I mean, that thing came at him like a bullet.
Good defense again by Carson Edwards, just a pest. Valpo able to keep the possession.
I think this is where Tavon Walker has to settle his team down a little bit. Don't rush, get the shots you want.
Walker back out to Kaiser, 4 to shoot, gotta hurry now. Walker, 1 to shoot. They don't know the shot clock is low, and that's a shot clock violation.
Somebody on the court has to be aware right now. The Purdue defense stepping up big time. We talk about, but Purdue doing what they do best. Being a little bit more physical, get the ball, think about physicality inside Haas. Take that for you, Vince Edwards. Easy 2, Purdue 28, Valpo 14.
Thank you, guys. 28-14 Purdue with 3:10 remaining in this first half. And Jim Jackson just slowly and steadily, Purdue started to pull away with a little more offense, but they have consistently been strong in the defensive end tonight.
Well, they have. They forced the Crusaders right now to 10 turnovers. So even if you cut that down by 5, that's 5 more offensive possessions or shots at the rim you may get if you're Valparaiso. But excellent job of manning up defensively by Purdue.
Edwards can't get that one to go inside. Arms able to tip it back to Vince Edwards, who puts it in.
First offensive rebound that time by the Boilermakers. And Harms that time wasn't able to get it himself, but smartly tipped it to Vincent Edwards, who was able to finish.
You see Harms inside. He's got black tape around that right thumb and wrist. He got it caught in that jersey and aggravated that thumb injury. All right, Evelyn. Need to get him going a little bit for Valpo. Evelyn in some trouble. 4 to shoot. They got to hurry again. Burton going baseline, lost it, and it's going to be out of bounds, but will the shot clock violation hit first? Here's the tape job being done to Matt Harms, the freshman.
I remember, it might have been my junior year at Ohio State. My pinky finger on my left hand early in the game got it jammed up. It was a little dislocated. Got it wrapped up. It's never been the same, but as you play, you feel it. Trust me, it hurts.
Yeah.
But it's the next day when your adrenaline is down that you really feel it.
How long does it affect your shot when if your finger doesn't ever go back the way?
Well, me, it was my left hand.
Sure.
So fortunately, it was more so catching and playing defense. But if I'm going for a left-hand layup, it did affect it. And again, the officials are looking at the shot clock right now. But for Harms also, it affects him when he wants to block a shot with his offhand. You know, you tend not to think about it while it's hurting, you know, if you're in effect, but at the same time, it does play a little psyche on your mind a little bit.
Now they put 1 on the shot clock. It'll actually show up as 0 because it's under a second. So this is going to have to be a quick tip in. That shot clock's going to go up So there's the second. Now they put the second on.
Okay, because you can get a shot up with .3.
Yep.
But 0. 0. 0.1, you forget about it. Throw it up.
Burton's got a launch. And that did not grab rim, so there's the shot clock violation, and that's another good defensive series for Purdue. 11th turnover for Valpo.
Not the way you want to look at starting the first half, especially on the road against this tough Purdue team. They don't give you a lot of opportunity, so you can't squander them yourself, especially with the unforced turnovers, Kevin. That's the one that gets you.
Hard to pull the upset with 11 first half turnovers.
Sometimes you rather take some tougher challenging shot than to turn it over. How about Vince Edwards? That time, sprinting off the pick, squaring his shoulders up, able to elevate and knock down that three.
This might be the best three-point shooting team in Purdue history. They have 3 in the top 14 all-time in three-point shooting on this roster right now.
Well, that's been a struggle before with Matt Painter in regards to perimeter shooting, but not with this team, like you said.
Nice hook shot there from Malik McMillan, who ran into early foul trouble, his first 2. 1:25 until halftime, 33-16. Purdue has just slowly pulled away in this first half. Edwards a big reason why. Another 3 for Edwards. This one won't go, but the rebound to Eastern and a foul. And Eastern down. Marcus Golder commits the foul.
And Golder that time was in position, just missed time to jump just a little bit. The ball got behind him, and as he was reaching back up, his right arm got caught right up into the face of Eastern right there. I mean, not anything done on purpose, more of a basketball play, but Eastern feeling the effects of that hit to the face.
They're going to give him time to blink that one. That poke in the eye out.
And I hope it's not a scratch. I had a scratch cornea before, and I wouldn't wish that pain on my worst enemy. I mean, it was something where you get affected by the light. I had to, sit with a patch on my eye for a few days in order for it to heal because it was so sensitive. And I'm not saying that's what Eastern has right now. I hope he does it, but I got hit in a similar situation like that and had a little scratch cornea. It did affect me.
Take a while to overcome that one, I would imagine.
Okay.
All right, so we've just been told why there's a substitute free throw shooter here.
Well, it wasn't an intentional play. Got hit in the eye. Eastern couldn't shoot. Now, the new rule this year is that the opposing coach can pick from one of the 4 guys on the floor.
Right.
Whereas before, if you couldn't shoot, you could go to the bench. But you pick one of the 4 guys on the floor.
And Matt Loddick says, you know what, we're going to let Matt Harms do this.
Well, you saw, hold on, wait. It was P.J. Thompson that went to the line at first.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah, I've missed one all year. And that's why Matt Loddick chose Matt Harms, who made his first 2 earlier tonight. So the odds were in his favor that he was probably picking the right guy.
Yeah.
And a kick ball for P.J. Thompson.
I love P.J. That's like when you get a technical foul or something, you want to run to the free throw line, you be the one to shoot it all the time. P.J. was like,
No, he chose me. I was the one. Yep, he picked me. Sent me a text right now, says you go shoot.
Yeah. Let's see if the Crusaders can just try to close out the half with a little momentum. Get a score here, get a defensive stop, maybe get another turnover.
Offensive foul, that's number 3 on Malik McMillan.
And that time, Vince Edwards just anticipated, knowing that McMillan loves to drive to his right hand, beat him right to the spot, able to pick up the charge right there.
Yeah, that's a freshman going against veteran defense. I mean, that's...
It's a reason why you love to have a team that has that experience, in particular how you close out halves.
You just don't see a ton of teams with this kind of experience across college basketball as Klein, the junior, hits the 3.
Now, what I tell you, Northwestern game, you talked about it early in this game, able to see the ball go in, and now he's shooting the ball, Kevin, without thinking about it.
Golder inside, nothing doing there, and Purdue trying to extend the 14-2 run. with the last shot of the first half. They've stretched the lead to 20. 21-4 overall, and the run going on over 7 minutes. And what was once a close game has been blown open by the 21st ranked Boilermakers. Ball knocked loose inside, 5 seconds. Haas will put it up. That won't go. Rebound Evelyn. Evelyn, half court heave. Good if it goes. It does not. Halftime is here. A half dominated by the Boilermakers at Mackey Arena. And Matt Painter has to be pleased as his team makes their way to the locker room. After the break, we'll check in with Mike Hall and Donnie Marshall in our FS1 College Hoop Studio. Halftime here at Mackey. Purdue with a 36-16 lead over unbeaten Valparaiso. 36-16, Purdue enjoying a 20-point lead as we start the second half here at Mackey Arena in West Lafayette, Indiana. Alongside Jim Jackson, I'm Kevin Kugler. 1 for 7 start from the floor for Purdue. Then they got hot. Never looked back. 13 of 23 from the floor since at 56% shooting.
Well, a lot of it, Kevin, was spurred on by their defense. I mean, excellent defensive pressure, which opened up opportunity for Purdue to get out in transition. You force 11 turnovers. You convert those to 8 points. Okay, now that is offense outside of your offense, points outside of your offense. But how about the excellent job of playing defense, moving your feet, only 2 first half fouls, 0 from your starters. So that's all about being in the right place, positioning, and then being able to take advantage of it and converting on the offensive end of the court.
Second straight game that Purdue has ended the first half with only 2 personal fouls, and you see Purdue's numbers at 47%. Valpo can't hit a 3. They've had very few opportunities at the free throw line, and the turnovers really stacked up on the Crusaders.
And what we didn't see in there was, again, I talked about the secondary break opportunity. You may not get it on the initial thrust and transition. You pass it around a couple times, now you find yourself with a wide open jump shot or a dump down inside with one-on-one coverage.
Bakari Evelyn starting it off. He did not score in the first half for Valparaiso. Evelyn averaging a little over 11 points per game on the year, trying to get to work inside. Here's Evelyn once more with 12 on the shot clock. Evelyn on the handoff. 7 to shoot. Works it around to Walker. Walker on the attack with 3 on the shot clock. Couldn't get it to fall. Haas had it. Knocked out of his hands. It'll belong to Purdue.
Well, in the first half, early on, I know Valparaiso missed some shots, but they got a little success when the ball moved quickly. This Purdue team, when they can settle in, put their feet in stone, so to speak, it's hard to get by. They play great position defense and team defense. You have to really shift this team if you want to get into the gaps and find yourself getting some open shots.
Thompson's pass tipped by Evelyn. Haas able to grab it. 12 to shoot for Purdue. Matthias scoreless in the first half. Finds Carson Edwards. His launch won't go. Rebound tipped by Haas, but plucked by Burton.
An opportunity for Crusaders to score in transition.
And Matthias taking the contact. It's a charge. Or is it?
It may be inside the arc right here.
Initially called the charge. Now they're going to change it.
Yeah. I think that was a good call. If we get a chance to look at the replay to see if Matthias, if he was inside the arc, foot is on the back line. So it's a good call coming in from the official on the bench side of the court. I think
it was that late little shift that looked like it pushed him behind the arc.
But even if the back heel touches the line, you consider it inside. So that time, the thought process for Matthias was correct, but the execution of not getting outside took away what could have been a charge.
So P.J. Thompson back at it. The first foul on a starter tonight for Purdue.
You're starting off bad already.
No, it's all falling apart.
A quick double team right here.
And a whistle and a foul is going to be called. The push on Soroya. Or on Parker Hazen. One of the two. It's Hazen who gets called for the foul.
Well, that time Hazen kind of sprinted over, and you had Haas kind of backpedaling off balance, and you kind of bailed him out being overly aggressive. Had a chance for a turnover, and then yourself getting out in transition, maybe creating an easy basket.
Good look off the inbound to a wide open Thompson. Can't hit the 3, but Matt Painter's not going to be unhappy with that look or that shot. Burton inside, lost it out of bounds, off Purdue. It'll stay with the Crusaders. For Matt Loddick's team, a stretch of 6 road games, starts tonight here at Mackey Arena. The schedule really ramping up for this 8-0 squad starting tonight. They've got Northwestern next week as they'll battle in the Big Ten once more. The handoff to Walker. Walker felt the contact, the fadeaway won't go, and Walker really struggling to get his shot down. Only 2 points. Averages 17 per game.
Well, P.J. Thompson is doing an excellent job of contesting the shots by Walker.
And Matthias on the board. First time that he has scored his first 3.
Well, you know it was eventually going to happen. Matthias was going to continue to get those looks. He's never shy on confidence in regards to shooting from behind the 3.
Big Ten's leader in made 3s as it'll go back to Purdue on the turnover. His 30th made of the year right here.
Little pick and roll, read and replace. You know where your partner in crime is at behind the 3-point line. That's the beauty of it, that when you're a veteran team, you're playing with each other for so long, Kevin. It's like me and you on the mic right here.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I know when to shut up when you start talking, so.
Is it time for me to talk, Mr. Jackson?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, good. I can say words now. Parker Hazen with his second foul, both in this second half. And Purdue will inbound again.
Yeah, what do you think the ceiling is for this Purdue team? You know, take everything into consideration, how they finished last year, the start this year, especially with the last 4 games.
Well, the biggest hurdle for any team of the Big Ten is that team that Tom Izzo has in East Lansing right now. That's going to be a tough team to beat, deep, talented. But this Purdue team, with this starting 5, as diverse as they are, they can score inside, they can score outside. The way Haas is playing right now, I'm not going to rule anything out for Purdue this year in the Big Ten.
Well, one thing they do well, 11 turnovers a game compared to, and you have 18 assists. So they're valuing the basketball, they're not turning it over, and they're able to get opportunities. Again, when we looked at kind of predicting who's the team in the Big Ten that could, potentially be competitive with Michigan State, the first one I said was Purdue, and the reason why is because of what we just saw, the leadership there.
Offensive foul, evenly used in the off arm to try to get clear. Look, there aren't a lot of teams in college basketball that can boast this kind of senior capability on the roster. It just doesn't happen a lot, especially at the high major level like the Big Ten school.
But also bringing back, you talking about having success last year, kind of a championship team coming back.
Yep.
I mean, so to boot, not only having the senior leadership, but guys who have actually won something.
Skip to Carson Edwards. Tough catch for Vince Edwards and the turnover.
You got to score right here.
Walker lost it off his ankle, able to stay with it, and he does score. Now Purdue will push. Carson Edwards, the spin, but he couldn't keep control of the basketball, and it's back into play. Hazen will start it the other way, and he throws it away. Freshman mistake there for Parker Hazen.
And that time, Hazen, if you don't have it, just pull it to the side and allow the rest of your trailing teammates to come in. You may be able to find something. If not, at least you retain the possession.
Nice pass out of the double to find Matthias cross court.
There you go, 5-point swing. You had an opportunity, if the fast break was run correctly by the Crusaders, to have 2 points, but you give it up. Now your defense is not set. Matthias makes you pay from the weak side.
Evil in the dump down to Burton, and Burton's reverse not going to go. Soroya there to get the offensive board. Alpo down 24, just unable to get the offense going in any kind of consistent way. Walker's 3, that's good. There's a guy who can get some offense going.
And I would run a lot more pick and roll with Walker. Not immediately, let it swing, and then go into the pick and roll, because he's so good if you go underneath the screen that he can step, pop, as we saw right there.
How about that position for Isaac Haas? How deep was he with Soroya on his hip?
I mean, so really, if he starts to back you down, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, that's where it's imperative, though, that the guy on the ball that's handling the ball handler has to put pressure on him. That pass just can't come directly inside.
I didn't answer your question because I assumed it was rhetorical.
Yeah,
so what I would do.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't even be able to see you.
No. Can you see somebody curled up in the fetal position? Matthias.
I can imagine seeing you that way.
One bump from Isaac Haas, that's all it would take. Walker with the pull-up. That 2 won't go. The rebound tipped by Soroya and out of bounds to Purdue once more. Timeout here at Mackey Arena. The Boilermakers doubling up. Valpo 46-23.
Big Time College Hoops tips off Saturday on FS1. First, Marcus Howard and Marquette battle Ethan Happ in Wisconsin.
Go big or go home.
Then, George King powers the Buffaloes into Big East country to face off with Trayvon Fluid and Xavier.
Pounds it down.
Saturday,
The challenge is accepting the double team, knowing how to play out of it. As you get more mature and accustomed to it, now you're able to make plays and make your teammates better and make teams pay for double teaming you inside.
Averaging 17 points, 5.5 rebounds in this 4-game winning streak. It looks very much like it's going to stretch to 5, up 46-23.
Oh,
Yes! Harms with a hammer!
yeah, you know what? That thumb didn't bother him on that dunk right there, I can tell you that much.
It feels a lot better right now.
Yeah. How about out of the timeout?
Reach in and a foul. It deserves another look, doesn't it?
Well,
Harms?
it does, and you got a sense and feel that Smith was going to go for the, just to hedge out a little bit on that, and Harms just able to get one dribble and the seas parted. Young fella.
Burton. That floater not going to go. Harms able to tip it up about 5 times, and it goes into the hands of Edwards, who loses it. Max Joseph picked his pocket.
Look, 'tis the season to give, not take.
Second chance for Valpo. Joseph. He deserved that basket. He's the guy who got it started with the steal. 4 points for Max Joseph, one of 2 24-year-olds on this Valpo roster. He and Tavon Walker, both older players. They got them from Canada. They played a little longer up in Canada. So you get 24-year-olds. That's a nice bonus when you get into conference play to have some veteran guys who've been around the block a little bit.
It is, and they'll get more familiar, and play a lot better. Again, this is a tough Purdue team we're judging them against right now.
Shot clock at 2. Thompson's got a launch. He hits. Burton. And a foul as Burton takes it inside. Harms.
And with veteran teams, you don't panic when the shot clock goes down. You just keep the court spread, allow somebody to make a play for you. And I can harken back a few years ago when, again, the outside shooting was a little suspect. You didn't know where it was coming from, but now the balance is here. And again, having veterans pays off.
Matthias called for that foul, his second. Burton gets the roll. We talked about Michigan State. We talked about Purdue. I don't think you sleep on Minnesota either in the Big Ten Conference.
Well, you better not.
No, because they've got a starting 5 that I'd put with anybody in this league.
But that's the issue, is they're playing so many minutes with that starting 5 in the non-conference. Of course, we play some conference games now. When does it come back to haunt you? Because you got to at least have 7 guys to 8 to spare some minutes. And right now, Minnesota is deep at 5, but their bench is a little suspect right now.
And Nebraska took it to Minnesota the other night.
But I love how they play intensity-wise.
Oh, no question. Nice drive, finish at a foul. Max Joseph headed to the line.
And that time, the Crusaders able to attack right away. Okay, so before the defense got set, the dribble drive to the baseline, you maintain it. Now you dive to the basket, and you're able to get something positive by Max Joseph. But again, Evelyn able to maintain his dribble, then make a play.
Can't complete the 3-point play. And Edwards starting it up, a little crossover. He showed it, finished it, and a foul. Oh, Carson Edwards there. He should smile after that.
Well, he should, but the patience right here, a little crossover. Smits didn't commit, and now you make him pay. But Smits has to force the ball to go out to harms right there. Well, I mean, if he knocks down a jump shot, you just pat him on the butt and say good shot. You don't want to give up a layup, so you have to step in there. But how about the recognition that time? Edwards just to stay with it.
Another game in double figures for Carson Edwards, 11 points tonight. He's been in doubles in all but 2 games this year. He's passing the paint to a crashing Burton, and Burton gets crashed upon and will go to the line.
So I don't know if Bakari Evelyn is old enough, but he just pulled a Steve Smith move right there. The fake one way back to the baseline, and he made a play.
Well, he may have learned that from a guy from Steve Smith's era. Lindsey Hunter is a mentor of Bakari Evelyn, now coaching at Buffalo in the MAC. Nate Oates, the head coach there, and Lindsey Hunter is kind of the guy who helped Bakari Evelyn on his transfer from Nebraska to get in the direction of Valpo, and maybe that's where Lindsey Hunter's teaching some old school moves.
I mean, but he used it right, and he used it like he was comfortable doing it, so it wasn't the first time for him.
Vince Edwards. Now Carson Edwards going to work again, driving all the way in, left that one a little short, and the rebound going to Evelyn on the push. Evelyn to Joseph. Joseph, the skip in the corner to Burton for the open 3. And Vince Edwards with the rebound.
And you can't be too upset with that. I mean, you had an opportunity, dribble, drive. You made the right decision. Unfortunately, the jump shot just didn't go in.
Edwards with 7 rebounds, finishes that one off on the other end. He's got 13 points, those 7 boards. Came in 4th in the Big Ten and rebounding almost 9 per game for Edwards. Quick 3 for Evelyn, and it's good. Bakari Evelyn on the board from deep, his first 3.
And how about the recognition that Eastern went under the pick. That time Evelyn able just to step right behind it in rhythm and knock it down.
Arms with the left hand, a little dart to that shot. And the rebound to McMillan. Evelyn clearing everybody out. Smits from the elbow.
You know, the Crusaders have gotten some good shots.
They have.
I mean, that shot, the one previous, you know, before even knocked down his shot, but in the corner, they just haven't been able to string together consecutive shots.
Vince Edwards starting to heat up a little bit for Purdue. The crossover, then the patience to finish up. Back at it here at Mackey Arena with Jim Jackson, Kevin Kugler. Our entire FS1 crew on hand here tonight as Isaac Haas working inside, trying to tip jam as Edwards in the foul. Vince Edwards has become such a glass cleaner. 9 rebounds now. Couldn't finish off with a putback, but he's fouled.
Sometimes he's sneaky.
Malik McMillan with his 4th foul and a timeout. 11:04 remaining in this second half. We'll step aside. Vince Edwards will head to the line when we return with Purdue up big at home. Team that, man, oh man, what a year Jared Goff is having. I mean, that's the 2 top quarterbacks taken 2 years ago going head to head.
Well, unbelievable what a difference coaching is. The right coach, right? An offensive head coach comes in and kind of written Goff off last year. Gurley wasn't as effective, but now he comes back. How about Carson Wentz as well?
Oh.
I mean, that's the game that I'm looking, even though I'm a Steelers fan, big time Steelers fan, that's the game that I'm looking forward to watching. Those who go head and head, and you know, special prayers go out to all the people back out in LA with the fires that are going on right now. It's just it's
a frightening situation. The images and the video that you're seeing from California right now.
And I live there, so trust me, I know a lot of people being affected.
Oh, nice play by Nogel Eastern, the freshman, feeling the contact, finishing, and he'll go to the line.
Well, that time Nogel able to just have his way on the turnover, to get out and run, and no one from the Crusaders came up and stopped the basketball. And at the last minute, Marcus Golder tries to step in, but it's too late because that was offhand. That time by Eastern, able to finish.
He was a highly recruited kid. Michigan State, Ohio State, Northwestern, Michigan, all interested. Probably not based on that free throw, but the rest of his game.
Interesting free throw. Freshman. Got time to figure that out.
And there's a whistle and a foul as Martin Linson stuck his leg out trying to clear Eastern off. Remember earlier, Nogel Eastern got jammed in the eye.
It was good to see him come back.
Yeah.
Actually, look at Matt Painter kind of having the trust in the freshman to kind of initiate the offense, knowing you have two shooters on the thighs and also Edwards on the wing.
Eastern spinning on the baseline. Shot won't go, but Haas able to tip the rebound to Edwards, and Edwards out of bounds. Almost got there in time to save it, but it'll be Valpo ball.
And think about the versatility you have when you have Eastern handling the basketball. You have down screens on the wings for either Edwards. Also, you got Thompson there. You got Mathias. You got options. And then, while you're paying attention to all that, you have big Isaac Haas posting up deep inside.
Now, here's what we've got. This is an interesting scenario. We saw this a couple of games ago. Harms and Haas on the floor at the same time. Matt Painter doesn't do this a lot.
But you got to see how it works, i.e. Minnesota, i.e. Michigan State, and how it may work at spurts during the course of the game when you have to go big.
They did this a little bit against Louisville, about 8 minutes on the floor together during that Louisville game.
You want to try to develop a little continuity. Speaking of continuity, let's get the ball in the post, turn over your left shoulder and shoot. But you know that scenario is going to come about. How long you can do it is going to be determined. One on Michigan State, you see great contest right there. But how coordinated the two are together when they're on the court.
Edwards taking it end to end, draws the contact near the elbow. And the foul will send him to the line for the 1-and-1.
I believe this lineup too, you keep the shooters spaced. Now you have some chance inside, but I mean, that's a lot of space eaten up. You got 7'3", 7-foot wingspan. You got girth.
You got one of the best shot blockers already in college basketball in Matt Harms. You've got Isaac Haas, who's the Big Ten Player of the Week this week. I mean, there are not a lot of schools in America that can match the skilled size that's on the floor right now for Purdue.
But haven't we seen this with Purdue before?
Yeah, I think we have.
I mean, you know what I mean? So Matt Painter is highly skilled at understanding when and how to use his size, because he's been there before.
Yeah, he's had A.J. Hammonds, Biggie Swanigan, and he's been able to maneuver those guys. Yeah, Matt Painter's one of those coaches who's been able to figure out how to effectively work bigs into his game. 30-point advantage for Purdue.
The other Crusaders, there's still things you want to work on. Yes, you can't pay attention to the scoreboard, how many you're down. You got to continue to execute because you're playing for something bigger than just tonight.
Tavon Walker felt that contact. The jumper's not going to go, and the foul. Well, while we have these big guys on the floor, Isaac Haas against Northwestern, this is what locked up his Big Ten Player of the Week award.
Well, it's all about trust now. I mean, early in his career, could he be an effective scorer on the post? You knew he could rebound the basketball, but now he's showing you the subtleties of his offensive game. Look at that little jump shot off the glass, but that comes over time. And then as you see, his teammates trust him now to get him the basketball. That more importantly, Kevin, not only can he score, but he's making plays, off the low post.
And he was not a guy who got a bulk of the minutes early in his career. As we mentioned, A.J. Hammonds was out there, Caleb Swanigan was out there. So sometimes you'd see him play 5-6 minutes and then sit for a little bit. 7 or 8 minutes somewhere else.
He was able to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he was able to gain confidence as well. That when his time came, see right here, he's able to produce.
So you've got the senior Haas, and now you got the kid who's behind him with the chance to learn, but he's already shown what a shot blocker he is.
But the crazy part is he's still learning how to play. He's still learning how to play at this level. His body is still becoming physically mature, mentally mature in his mind. So you're talking about having the bright spot at an early age, early in the season, and still trying to figure out how to be a college student and play at this level.
somehow, when he came out of high school, Matt Haarms was a 3-star prospect.
Well, some guys just develop a little bit later, and that's okay because Coach Matt Painter doesn't care. He fell in their lap. So that 3-star can be a heck of a player here in the Big Ten as he matures. So kudos to Matt for figuring that one out.
There's Haarms able to come up with that loose ball. Nice pass over to Matthias, open on the way for 3. Carson Edwards back to that knowing where everybody is on the floor. You've got so much experience out there. Edwards with the vision to see Matthias out there.
Well, it was the value of the push, because the quick push pushed actually the Crusaders defense below the free throw line. So that opened up because of the spacing by Matthias to get that shot.
Max Joseph, little hesitation. Backs it up now to Soroya. 9 on the shot clock. Burton to the rim. Tip up and in by Jay Soroya.
Soroya just followed in because that time Isaac Haas had the help on the drive. Soroya, smartly just followed himself right to the middle of the lane, able to get that tip in.
Both Soroya and Haarms, products of Sunrise Christian in Kansas, where you're seeing a lot of guys work their way through from outside the country who come through the United States. Sunrise Christian is a place where you see a lot of these guys come in and continue to advance their game. 2 free throws the rest of the way as Carson Edwards goes to the line after the 10th team foul on Valpo. Edwards with 13 tonight. He got hit by an elbow from Scotty Lindsey during Sunday's win over Northwestern. About 8.5 minutes to go in that one. No worse for the wear tonight. 14 for Carson Edwards.
Tough young player. Young meaning compared to me. You know what I mean? But
it's the Jim Jackson scale.
Yeah.
You use that in all aspects of life.
But as a sophomore, though, you're still learning. But the trust factor is there with Coach Matt Painter and the staff, and he gives you that kind of bulldog point guard that can penetrate, that can shoot, has a physical toughness and mental toughness about it.
Hazen open for 3, and Haas the rebound. We joke about that, though, but in the context of this team, Carson Edwards is young, too. Well, just a sophomore.
Yeah, just a sophomore.
With all these seniors around, just one of those seniors in P.J. Thompson.
But he has a maturity about him, though, only being a sophomore.
Eastern got trapped down low and turns it over.
It's a freshman mistake that time by Eastern.
Joseph, tough pass, good catch, and then out of bounds. Nope, a foul first. Eastern got a little handsy with Joe Burton in the corner, and a timeout here in West Lafayette. Purdue enjoying a big lead on Fox Sports Go. Aggie Arena and the Paint Crew getting it done tonight. Purdue up big, 69-39 over unbeaten Valparaiso. And going to the line is Joe Burton, the Oklahoma State transfer. Will get the bonus after hitting the first. 13 for Burton.
And during the timeout here, you pointed something out. Crusaders, 4 assists, 16 made shots, but you had 16 turnovers. And against UNCW on the 25th, they had 3 assists, 16 turnovers. So that disparity means that you're working so hard on the offensive end to get baskets, and then you turn it over.
Arms inside. No basket for Haarms, no foul either, so I guess that's no harm, no foul.
Yeah, no Haarms, no foul. That was cute. But to finish my point, for Valparaiso, that's not going to be the formula you need to win. You got to even out a little bit more and get those assists up, even though that it's a tough defensive team against Purdue. But in conference, you want to get that spread a little bit more exaggerated, assist to turnovers.
A fadeaway with 4 to shoot, and Haarms able to drain that one.
Wow. Showing the touch on the baseline and some excitement running back.
He shows excitement after everything he does. Every block, screaming, pumping the fists. It's going to be a much bigger J.J. Redick for fans of opposing teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah, you can see where some fans, especially the student section, not going to buy into the excitement. on his end.
We're going to buy into it here. Nice look inside. Jaquil Taylor.
You see Eastern right there showing some of the signs of why Coach Matt Painter allows him to handle the basketball. He's going to make some tough decisions as a freshman and turn the ball over. And that just comes with time, but you can see that he has a talent of finding people. Oh,
that's one positive that's going to come out of this game for Valpo is that Joe Burton's gotten his offensive game going a little bit tonight.
It is, and you know, it's tough to break down the tape like this if you're the coaching staff for the Crusaders, because you don't want to harp on a lot of the mistakes, but you want to show some things that they could have done better, especially with the turnovers, but also show some positive signs within the tape to say, guys, if we continue to play like this offensively and defensively, it gives ourselves an honest chance to win games.
Burton with 16 points, can't hit that three, harms the rebound. Purdue in control, up 73-43, 5:25 to go. Boilermakers about to go 9-2 on the year, win their 5th straight. Deep three for Thompson. Pinballs out, and the rebound to Hazen. Here's Burton left alone. And Harms able to tip that rebound away from Parker Hazen.
Again, Harms doing the little things. We saw it, I think, early, late in the first half where he didn't have the rebound offense. He just tipped it to Vince Edwards. Again, look at that pass.
And Harms trying to finish. Left that jumper short. Seen some crisp passing tonight for Purdue. Cross-court passing. Little spin inside, the dump into the corner for Burton, and Burton hits the three. Joe Burton, he's got 19. That's a Valpo high. He had 18 against Southeast Louisiana. Klein, not going to get that three, and the rebound for Soroya. Not any concerns that anybody had about Purdue not being as focused leaving Big Ten play after the opening weekend and coming back to non-conference. Those seem to have been set aside by this point. Up 73-46. Soroya's jumper short. Took back out to Soroya. Tried to get it over Harms, and Harms didn't block one, Jim, but he changed that shot. And a timeout at Mackey Arena. Purdue up 73-46. Harms enjoying
it. You cannot wear a Raiders jersey to my family's Christmas dinner.
West Lafayette. Okay.
The Twin Towers of the Boilermakers. The veteran on the right and Isaac Haas, and the youngster Matt Harms on the left.
Talking about what they get to eat afterwards, you know. How you doing? How's your family? What's going on? Play a little PlayStation afterwards. Got to work in.
The dinner bill for those two's got to be a little more significant than, say, if Carson Edwards and P.J. Thompson.
Dinner bill, the grocery bill. My goodness. Hey, listen. I know Isaac Haas' parents are like, hurry up and go to college.
Yeah, right.
They can take care of that food bill.
Now the scholarship includes training table, right?
That's, you better believe. Eat it all, big fella.
Walker driving inside, and Walker able to finish that off. Been a slow night for Tavon Walker in the double figures with 10, but it's taken him 11 shots to get there.
Yeah, I thought he peeled back his aggressiveness early on. I thought that he could have been the guy that kind of set the tone for the Crusaders to kind of attack his defense, but you didn't really see that push out of him that I was expecting.
Eden Ewing tied up on his way inside. That'll stay with Purdue, 14 to shoot. Jaquil Taylor missed all of last year with a foot injury, just getting him back. Trying to shake some of the rust off as Eastern behind the back finds Taylor inside, and Jaquil Taylor is fouled. No Joe Eastern showing some skills.
I'm telling you, it's the playmaking ability right there that he got and able to get it inside to Jaquil Taylor.
Tommy Luce, you heard the roar. Tommy Luce about to check into the ball game. the 5'10 sophomore from Jeffersonville, Indiana, who has scored 2 points in his 4 games this year.
His teammates will look for him. Let me ask you a question. Are you a movie guy?
Two questions.
Are you a movie guy?
That's the question.
Do you like comic books?
Yes.
Who's your favorite superhero?
My favorite superhero?
Yeah, who's the,
boy, I mean, I like a lot.
No, I didn't ask you that.
I know you did. But I'm trying to decide on the fly here. I was more of a Batman guy.
So Batman is your guy?
Yeah.
So I went to see Justice League last night.
Okay, all right.
Now, I'm not going to spoil it for people who didn't see it.
Yeah, like me. Thank you.
But Superman is the man. Okay, you can have Batman. Okay, Batman is almost a fake superhero.
See, and I knew you were going to go there.
He doesn't have any superpower. What's his superpower? Besides having money and being rich?
Courage to go in there with no superpower. That's a superpower.
You know what?
Oh, this is a debate that we can have for hours on.
You never win it.
I could win this.
No, you're not.
Oh, I could win this debate.
No way. Superman.
Loose with the skip. Superman's no challenge with Superman.
Why not?
He's better than everybody.
Well, that's my point.
Beats death, everything. A little showtime wouldn't go down, but the follow is there. For Smits, they heard you talking about Superman, so they took to the air.
Hey, listen, Isaac Haas can play Captain America.
Yes, he can.
Yes, he can.
Yes,
am I right?
Yes, he can do that. He's a little bigger than Cap.
That's all right, but he'll look good in the red, white, and blue with the shield.
Yes, he would, yeah.
Very intimidating.
Okay.
Good-looking kid, young man, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, he walks into the room with a shield, red, white, and blue, you're going to cower a little bit.
Yeah. You kidding me? You would choose Batman. You like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
I do enjoy peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
More peanut butter or more jelly? Which one?
More jelly.
Strawberry or grape?
Strawberry, always. Okay. Am I back in your good graces?
Bagel, English muffin.
English muffin.
Yeah, you're old, that's why.
Is that why?
Yeah, English muffin kind of had their run. The bagel took over.
Bagels moved into the top spot. How did this happen? Missed the memo on that. Gave up my membership in the Bagel of the Month Club years ago.
I'm just saying. Get to know Kevin Kugler during the broadcast.
Everybody's like, I've learned enough. I want to know nothing more. There's Loose again. Every time he touches it, the crowd loves it. Loose going to work. To the rim, Eden Ewing going to the left hand. Nice move. Ewing off the bench for just the 5th time this year.
I say anytime a player gets in the game at valuable minutes in order to get some confidence, to let the coaches know that they're paying attention to the scouting reports and what they're doing. Because you never know when your number is going to be called. So you always have to be ready. So these minutes may seem insignificant at times, but the confidence you can feel to come out here and do some good things like that, just it helps the overall, I think, the confidence of the team when you can do that.
I think that's a young man who's gained some confidence tonight. No Joel Eastern.
Well, he's made some plays, not just. And again, a lot of times you say, how can I impact the game? And a lot of people think it's always scoring. But with Eastern, he's out here making plays, offensive rebounds. He's assisting. He's playing defense. Those are impacts that are invaluable in regards to winning basketball.
For a young guy, it's those steps that you take forward in a game like this that maybe in February when there's foul trouble in a Big Ten game, Eastern comes in, remembers what he did here, and is able to make a play that wins you a ball game. Rebound for Eifert. Loose will put it on the deck. There's Ewing back to the rim again. That's 4 for Eden Ewing, who had 4 all year.
I mean, tough loss for the Crusaders, but you have something to build on. Again, this is a young team, team going through transition. Coaching staff is going to work extensively on the little things, especially not turning the basketball over, live turnovers. It'd be interesting to see once the season gets started, pretty much in the Missouri Valley. They were picked 5th or 6th, I think it was, in there, to see where things shake out.
Final seconds of this one. Purdue, win number 5 in a row, win number 9 on the year. And the Boilermakers in a real good groove right now. Purdue now 9-2 on the season with an 80-50 win over the Crusaders from Valpo. More college hoops coming on FS1 as Howard and Georgetown coming up in just a bit. But right now, let's check in with Mike Hill and Donnie Marshall in our FS1 College Hoops Studio. Final in West Lafayette. Purdue wins it